Welcome to another Down the Rabbit Hole video. I've been posting a few videos of our trip to the UK recently, and one of the things we did while we were there is we went to the Tower of London to check out all the different medieval weapons and suits of armor that they have there. And I've posted videos on my channel of the different weapons I've collected over the years, my Morningstar, my chainmail, my shield. All of those are based on the fact that I used to play Dungeons and Dragons, and I remembered thinking to myself, some of the weapons in the list that you could buy for your character were recognizable, swords, daggers, that kind of thing. But I remember seeing there were things listed that I didn't really know what they meant, or what were they? Like, what is a mace? What is a flail? Now this thing is a polearm, and there are different types you could get in Dungeons and Dragons, because historically there were a lot of different types of polearms. And when I saw this one in the shop at the Tower of London, I thought to myself, that looks familiar. I've seen this exact polearm before. I've seen it in a lot of movies, actually, and it's surprising. This is the only one they had for sale. They didn't have halberds or any of the other types that I know I've seen before. This was the only one that they had for sale, and I thought, right, I'm picking this one up because this has eluded me what exactly this is. This specific polearm with the 2 points and the hook. As I mentioned before, I have seen this particular polearm with this particular head quite a few times in movies. I remember, of course, we all have seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail, which for quite a long time was kind of the de facto medieval movie to watch. And I remember several times seeing this particular polearm in a few shots. Specifically, this bit here, where the French taunters are at the top of their castle, and they are in fact swinging around this polearm in the background. But it wasn't just Monty Python and the Holy Grail that had this particular shaped polearm in some shots. There's one bit in Jabberwocky. You can't really make it out very clearly in this scene. There's quite a few polearms, but there it is with the hook and the points on it. And not only that, the 1968, I think it was, film A Lion in Winter, there's quite a few scenes where, again, this specific polearm keeps appearing. And I just thought to myself, when I saw this in the shop, okay, this has clearly got some importance, some significance. I mean, compared to various other things that I've seen in other movies, why is this one with the 2 points and the hook everywhere? Is there some particular reason or significance to it? Turns out there is. This is actually called a bill. And I do remember in Dungeons and Dragons, in the equipment list, or the weapons list, they had a thing called a bill guisarme. I'm sure that's a French word, but I don't know. I remember seeing the bill listed. And in looking this particular weapon up after I bought this in the store, I discovered, yes, this is called the bill, and it's actually an English weapon that has quite a lot of prestige. It has served various English infantry very well for centuries. I mean, right up to colonial America days, and I'll get to that later. But yeah, the bill is apparently quite a significant polearm. Now, I'm going to show off some various details of it here, but I do have a confession to make. Yes, I bought a polearm, but it's actually not full size. It's really just a little one. You can see here, it's maybe, I don't know, almost a foot long. It's about the size of a pencil, really. I wasn't going to buy a real, genuine polearm because that's just way too big. I mean, imagine trying to put something like this, which is full scale, into your suitcase. That's just not going to happen. But when I saw this one, I thought, you know what, I'm taking this one home because clearly this is an important weapon. And lo and behold, it is the bill. Now, it started off its life as a bill hook, which is an agricultural device used for, preening branches off trees. And here's a picture of a bill hook. You can see how that then became this part of the bill weapon here. And when it was, I guess, as with a lot of cases with the flail, for example, a lot of Agricultural items were then commandeered for use as weapons when I guess the enemy was rolling over the hills toward the village. So people would take up their hooks and start fighting as best they could with them. And it was decided over the years, well, let's also attach like a spear-like top here and this point here, and I'll describe what those are for later. But yeah, the bill. It's apparently a very significant weapon. The bill's significance is actually very English. When most of Europe was adopting the pike, the English stuck with the bill, and it had certain advantages that I guess they liked and they decided to keep with. They even took on Scots in 1513 in the Battle of Flodden. The Scots were armed with pikes, and the English kept their bills. And in colonial America, they even took bills there as well. Apparently, there have been some excavated in Jamestown, Virginia. So that gives you an idea of just what a history this particular type of weapon has. So why was the bill so preferred by the English for their various campaigns? I mean, generally pikes and other types of polearms have the same advantages. You can throw them as spears, you can dig them into the ground and stop cavalry, but the bill has a few things it can do that some polearms can't. For example, a soldier could hold it midway in the handle and use it more like a chopping weapon. It's a little bit difficult to explain here with such a small model. I wonder if I've got a solution for that. Wait a minute, I know. So you're wondering, I've got Captain Kirk here. The reason why is, well, first of all, he's about the closest match in all the different action figures that I own that can stand with this miniaturized bill weapon here and show it off in at least appropriate style. Not only that, Captain Kirk, Bill Shatner, holding a bill. It's sort of an inside joke. Anyway, so let's use Bill holding a bill to show off the way the weapon can be used in different situations. As I already mentioned, some soldiers would hold the bill weapon in the center of the polearm so that it could be used in a chopping motion, essentially making it an axe. A similar stance was to plant the back of the polearm into the ground so that you could stop cavalry from charging at you. But the real value of the bill showed itself off when you held the weapon to its side and swung it around at different people on horseback. You've got the hook on one side, you've also got that spike on the other, so swinging this thing in a cleaving motion would have been pretty brutal and a very, very effective weapon. Now to show the real value of that hook, I'm going to need something to represent cavalry here. Okay, here comes some of that enemy cavalry that I mentioned. So, Bill's gonna come in with his bill weapon. He's got that hook and the point, so he's actually probably gonna use it to either pull on the leg of the knight in armor and pull him down, or if he can snag an arm, he could do it that way. And then once the knight is on the ground, you could just do a bit of nasty damage here with either point. Or if the knight is at least stationary, he could use the hook to dig into the chest plate or back plate of the armor and yank him down that way. And again, once he's on the ground, that's pretty much the end of him with this bill hook. Yeah, it's worth noting, I always talk about Star Wars in my videos, but I do like Star Trek. I'm not intentionally having a fight here between which is the better series. Alright, enough of me playing with my toys. There it is. There's the polearm that I got while in the Tower of London. The bill. Very happy that I got it, too. I mean, sure, it's just a little one, but it serves its purpose well, and it's going to be very much appreciated in my collection. I've seen the name Bill or Bill Geezarm listed in Dungeons and Dragons weapons list for years. Never really understood that this is what that referred to. And also this shape, this three-fingered prong thing. Seen that in a lot of English movies and never understood the significance of it. Now I know. So, yeah, I'm very happy that I made this purchase. Bill, please! Until next time, we'll see you down the rabbit hole.